Welcome to a special edition of Barrels and Banter, where we are at the Game Fair 2026. In this episode, we will be asking a firing line debate. Has the Game Fair become more about shopping than shooting, or has it got the balance right? We'll be shooting it straight with asking, should phones stay in the car on shoot days? Yes, you guys will also have some confessions, and we'll be asking, what would you change for next year's Game Fair, and how would you describe it in one word? There's plenty of banter and loads going on, so stay tuned for our special edition episode. Sarah and I have basically blagged our way into the VIP area, and we have come to see Merlin Griffiths, who is from First Dates fame. Now, we know that Merlin has been here mixing cocktails for most of the weekend. He is probably a bit tired and delirious, but we're hoping to get a good story out of him and find out a little bit about his experience at the Game Fair this year. Sarah and I do our podcast together in my lounge, rustic fireplace, deer heads on the walls, having a chat with each other, lots of banter. What should we drink? Could you make us a cocktail? What would you add in?
Right, fireplace stuff in a nice old sort of hunting lodge kind of room. You need to drink a very old English drink called a Negus from Colonel Negus. And that's port, little lemon juice, use some honey in there. And normally we're just boiling water, but I recommend doing it with some nice Earl Grey tea in there. Shake it up, have it cold rather than a hot Negus, and serve it up in a little martini glass.
That's a really nice idea, and I think there'll be people that will be listening to this that will be thinking, I might give that a go myself.
Look up the Negus. It's a really traditional old country drink as well, the Negus, and I think it speaks to everything that the country life is about.
Oh, I love that, thank you.
I mean, yes, I live in the country, but I'm afraid I don't hunt, I don't shoot, I don't fish. I wish I should, but I don't, because I'm a publican. So I walk in the countryside, slap on your wellies and go for a yomp. So I think about the worst thing that happens to me, it's either I get chased by cows. I'm no good with cows. They terrify me. Cows terrify me. It's either that, or if you have to stop for a pee in a hedge somewhere, and then sod's law, you haven't seen anyone for about 4 hours, and a whole group of hikers come stomping through. Hi.
That is right up our street. I can't tell you how many wee and poo stories we have had from the countryside over the years.
I know, yeah, and it's always a giant group of ramblers that catch you, isn't it? Yeah, it's never the farmer.
Yeah, when it's absolutely silent and you're convinced no one's there, and then suddenly everyone appears from nowhere.
Yeah, that's right. And the ramblers, they walk slowly as well.
Yeah, they do.
It's not like they're getting anywhere fast. Come on.
So Sarah, going straight in with one. I have an imaginary £10,000. I'm afraid it is not real. Where would you... I'm so sorry. Where would you go, and what would you spend it on at the Game Fair?
Do you know what? It's not something I normally do. I'm not like a clothes and a shopping-y person. I'm still wearing clothes from 1992. I'd actually go and blow it on a load of clothes.
Would you?
Yeah, I don't
Boots?
often. Yeah, clothes, shoes, boots. I don't often buy myself clothes, to be honest. I just wear the same leggings for 20 years. But I think I'd just go wild on some clothes and stuff. I don't really need guns, do I? Let's be honest. I've got enough guns and scopes and things like that. So,
That's true.
yeah, I think I'd just go mad clothes shopping.
Fair enough. I would go and buy a new gun. I love my 16 bore, but I am very conscious that one day the world may well turn to steel, and I don't think that my ancient gun will actually do very well with it. However, that said, I probably would still buy another ancient gun and then worry about that in the future.
I was going to say, would you spend the full 10 grand on a gun, or would you spend a few grand and then buy something else?
I think I would probably go and buy myself a really nice 20 bore. I had a Holloway & Norton many years ago, and I regret selling it massively. Side by side 20 bore, and I would go and have a hunt around to see if somebody had one of those, because that is exactly what I would love. What else would I buy? I would go and probably get a new pair of boots, as in, I mean, like Didito type boots. I don't mean fancy boots. I'm not really a fancy boots person.
Socks?
Well,
obviously.
I'm already buying the socks. I've had another
£1,000 on
more
socks.
And then, yes, I probably would get some clothes. I probably would also go and get a new scope as well while I'm at it.
Oh, yeah, you could do with one of those.
To be fair.
Yeah.
I'd be
a little bit on everything.
Yeah.
Why not?
Now, let's see what everybody else will spend their £10,000 on, if we had it, which unfortunately we don't.
Oh, gosh, that's a bit of one. To, some sort of shooting. So either be, somewhere in Eastern Europe or Africa.
That would be amazing. I've seen some good African trips out there, and there's somebody's doing some really nice Spanish trips in the sun too.
Some of the Spanish ones are a bit over, there's so many birds you get shot, but a bit more of a hunting than actually sort of like a driven day here. more sort of a hunting experience, which I've done before, but something I'll continue to do if I've got to spare 10,000 quid.
I'd probably go down to the end of Gunmakers Row and have a proper look around down there, down in the premium gun
He's
section.
already considering buying us both a gun, so but
Well,
that's more in the sort of
certainly not. It's in the more £10 rather than £10,000 mark.
So you'd spend 9,990 on yourself,
And £10, £5 each on £5 each on these two cars.
Be going round Gun Row, have a look down there, get myself something fancy down there. But then I'd be shooting back over to this side and go to that beautiful Big Fortis clothing, get myself some nice gear, something really plush and properly nice.
tweed.
Yeah, some nice tweed, some nice leathers. Yeah, I'd be looking amazing. Yeah, that's what I'd be doing.
Oh, blimey. It's very tempting to say I'd be straight over to Holland Cooper, I think. You know, I'm a bit of a fan of their clothes. It's very, very nice. But being a parent, I'd probably have to go and spend it all in the fudge shop for my daughter.
Oh my gosh, you do not know. We absolutely love Haribo. Everything we do is about sweets. Wherever we go, we taste a new sweet. So I think we might be with you.
There you go. Or alternatively, I'd leave a little bit on the side for some of the Chucklehead cider as well.
Okay, fair play. Sarah's with him on that one, I think.
A rifle. I'm after a rifle. Or a shotgun. I don't know.
One of each?
Yeah, one of each. Yeah, I'll just have to keep it under that £10,000, which is quite hard with some of the nice things, but with £10,000. Beretta's doing a great job. I would like to go into Beretta and have a look at another shotgun, but I'd like to look at a 20 bore or a 28 bore.
I gave you a magic £10,000. Which stall would you be going to first to buy something at the game fair? I'm going to ask you second, but you obviously already know.
I don't shop at the game fair. I carry bags. So if there's anybody who sells a trolley, I'll buy a trolley.
Where will you be going?
Okay, I'd want to go into those beautiful, sexy Land Rover Defenders.
Oh,
Oh my gosh! Oh yeah, sorry.
choice.
It's her.
Old retro Defenders, not the retro ones. She doesn't mean the new ones, because you like the old ones, don't you? Like she likes old things.
So I'm here with Merlin, and he forgot he has a very good story about his mother in the field. So fire away.
Well, yes. So when we first moved to the countryside, it was a little village called Badby, just south of Daventry. Beautiful, bucolic village. Classic place to live. And she took it upon herself to suddenly just go off for a little country walk at lunchtime, right, where we were doing some stuff. I get this panicked phone call about half an hour later as she's over near the next village. She's going, I'm being shot at. Somebody's actually shooting at me. And I think what had actually happened, it worked out, was that she cut across the bottom of somebody's field, right, where there wasn't a right of way. Oh. And they were out there with their shotgun, just pinging a few of their own clays off their back lawn. and she was a long, long way away. Yeah. And so she was feeling the shot clatter down.
As it's coming down from the sky.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
The reason you wear hats when you're shooting, that sort of stuff, is it, right? Yeah. And so she swore blind. The farmer is shooting at me. He's shooting me. I want to call the police. I want to go around. So there we go. That was the time my mother got shot in the countryside by accident.
And hopefully you told her that you thought everything was okay and it probably wasn't vindictive.
I did. I explained the status quo to her. I told her, please don't go wandering across random fields.
Never a good idea. Never a good idea. So hopefully you have got a funny story for us today.
Yeah, well, one that comes to mind is that we used to have a lunch hut and it had a chemical toilet. And none of us really liked to clean the chemical toilet on, so it kind of vanished. It was there anymore. But it was always the ladies that would struggle. But luckily, we had a row of butts fairly close, and it had 11 butts in the row. And the ladies would often just quietly go, duck down in the butt, and then come out again. No one would know. Anyway, this particular time, the team of guns decided they wanted a photograph during lunch of the whole team. So the whole team went and stood in front of this end butt, and one of our picker-up ladies had gone for a pee, and the photograph was the lady looking up like that, and they were all stood along, and we're all laughing, and we just wondered whether they'd ever see it in the photograph.
We've just been flagged down for another confession.
As we're walking into the game fair this morning, and we decided we were going to be really cheeky and go down the Basque members entrance rather than standing in the queue with everybody else. We snuck down there thinking it's all right, we've got an exhibitor's pass. And just as we get to the lady, my dog decides to stop and diarrhea all over the patch that the lady's standing in to bleep everybody through. So everyone's standing to queue as I'm there with poo bags, and my husband and my child ran away and left me, and then the dog goes and stands in it, and he's got a big clump of poo all in his paw as well. It was just delightful.
It's that point where you can't scoop it with a bag, can you? You kind of really need two hands to scoop it together. Oh,
yeah, like, you know, scraping it up. So yeah, it was like you're doing something. Yeah.
What you really need is just like a great big bucket of water.
Yeah, the poor woman yesterday, she was like, don't worry, I'm used to it. All the dogs seem to come in and just like poo, but at least you're picking it up. I was like, oh, well, you know.
We are here with Dick and Angel Strawbridge and their children, and they are well known from Escape to the Chateau. However, Dick Strawbridge has been a big advocate of cooking and countryside cooking and game food for many, many years. He is here with his children, and it will be really interesting to see how they may well enter the world of field sports as they get older. I know that they're really into their cooking, but where will they go now? So, you guys are at the game fair here. If you were going to go forwards and choose the first thing that you were going to say, hunt or shoot or fish, what do you think that you would go down the direction of? So would you be more deer? I'm not saying specifics. Would you be interested more in deer? Would it be maybe more birds, or would it be more fishing? What would interest you?
I think deer, because it's a bigger target.
To be fair, I'm absolutely with you on that one. Sarah will agree. We're all for that. We went rabbit shooting the other day and we saw a deer and we didn't have the right rifle, but we agree with you wholeheartedly. What would you go for?
I think I agree, because my aim's not very good, so I need a big target.
Fair play, I can go with that. And eating wise, what would be your top game meat that you would choose to eat?
I think boar, or like some nice venison.
Okay, boar is quite an unusual one for us over here in England. You don't see so much of it on the menu, but obviously in France, it's something that is much more seen. We went and did a chasse many years ago, and boar was on the menu in lots of the different dishes that evening. So that's a really interesting one. So that would be one of your highlights?
Yes, probably. A really nice boar stew is just amazing.
And what would be yours?
I eat everything. I haven't got a favourite. Everything's really yummy. So.
And are you cooking a bit at home?
I say I do help, but I wouldn't say cooking, because that's more them. But
to be fair, I go with that. I'm not. I'm the washer upper. I'm very good at that side of things.
Too. we do the washing up too, as well as good. You make a mess, you got to tidy up.
Oh, my teenager needs to hear about that. You make a mess, you need to tidy up.
It's the law.
Our firing line debate this week, which we will be going around and asking a few people about in a minute, is: has the game fair become more about shopping than shooting, or has it got the balance right?
I think there is a balance. You know, there's plenty of everything here. My only comment would be, if you look at like the gun side of things this year, Gunmakers Row is not what it used to be. There is a lot less. I've seen a lot of debates online about it. People saying, oh, the game fair are ruining it because there's not so much gun stuff this year. But my opinion on it is, actually, I don't think it is the game fair's fault. I think potentially you've got to think how the industry is struggling as a whole. Prices of everything have gone up, you know, so businesses' costs have gone up. I think licensing is having a massive impact, you know, with licenses taking forever and things like that. So that affects gun shops and things. So perhaps the people in the trade can't necessarily afford to do it anymore because the business has slowed down.
Is it also one of those purchases that a lot of people make anyway?
Yeah.
Yes, they will go and see some at the game fair, but how many people buy a gun at the game fair? They may well touch base with a gun shop that they then feel secure with to buy later.
Or to have a look at brands.
But actually are a lot of these purchases made online or made in your local gun shop or made at another time.
Yeah.
I think this is brands putting themselves in front of the public, which is fantastic. But actually, how many people walk away with a gun today?
Yeah.
And therefore, some of them have diversified more and have put other things on their stands because people will be walking away with clothing, and they will be walking away with potentially scopes and binos and things like
accessories.
And accessories, like you say. But are that many people just going to be coming here to buy a gun? I'm not sure they are.
No, and I think the cost of living, you know, everything's gone up. I work in the industry and I've seen it. You know, people can't afford what they used to be able to. But I do still think there's a good balance here. Do you know what I mean? There is so much going on. I think it's still good.
Well, we have interviewed a few people as we've gone round, and we are now about halfway through the game fair in terms of timing, and we still haven't got round all of it. I think there is so much to see and do, and we actually haven't really watched that much so far, have we? A lot of what we've done has been very much chatting to people, looking at some stands and things like that, and it's amazing how diverse the people walking around are in terms of, yes, you obviously have got your stalwart shooting people, but you also have got your, what I would call general countryside people that just enjoy a day out in the countryside, enjoy a day out with their dog. And actually, we should be appealing to everybody.
Oh, 100%.
Because to bring those people in, some of those people may well never have considered going beating, and now they come to this and they start getting into it, and it builds up and they make connections. And I think when you're looking at it as a whole, a lot of people started getting into field sports because they love the countryside.
Yeah.
And getting people to come to game fairs and come to shows like this, part of what you need to do is just bring people through the door in the first place, to show them your way of life, to get them hooked, to then be able to bring them in further. And actually doing that is by having things like clothing and fun things like the Pony Club games, which obviously have been here for years.
All the things to watch.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a great balance. And you've got to think, a lot of families come with children. I've brought my children.
Yeah.
My children do not want to be dragged around every scope stall that there is. They just don't want to do it. And I would like to be here for all 3 days. So to achieve a balance, there needs to be things that they can go off and do.
Do a bit of fishing, do some fun bits.
Exactly. And you may have a husband and the wife, we spoke about before, and maybe one of them is not into field sports. Well, then they can go off and do their shopping while maybe
there's gardening bits, there's outdoor bits, so they, there's plenty.
And the partner can be going and doing something else. And I think that is really important to look at the show as a whole, and how it brings people in. I would say, compared to most other country shows, if you just want to use country shows as a general term, you're talking about your county shows, I think that the stalls here are of a much higher caliber than most places.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You don't have perfume stalls and kiss me quicks. It is very much hunting, shooting, fishing, country life, and I think they've done a fantastic job.
Yeah, definitely.
I was talking to my father earlier, and we reckon you could buy almost anything you ever wanted here. But no, there's a good range of shops. I think it tailors to your whole family and friends.
An industry needs a leader, and Game Fair is a leader. It creates an atmosphere where like-minded people are getting together. They're talking about it, they're enjoying it, they're sharing stories, they're sharing a beer about this and that. They're making connections. Made connections today with people that, I'm really keen to go beating. Do you know anywhere near you? I've just moved to the area. Put them in touch with the keeper today. Exchange numbers. They will be beating this season. So people think, less gun shops and things like this is a part of the industry problem. It's not. The internet's very strong. They're going to buy their gun. They're going to buy it at some point. It doesn't have to be the Game Fair. So the Game Fair, of course, is about shopping. You need kit. You need these things. Obviously, I'm in that industry. But it's about people. End of the day, all of it is about people. The industry is created an incredible environment for people. You need somewhere like the Game Fair, and shopping is quite a nice way to almost deflect from hardcore shooting to just talk about everything in the industry, not just the gun, the cartridge. You get both. And I think the balance feels incredibly well balanced at the moment.
I think it's lost its roots and its original meaning. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, I don't know.
I would say about 50-50, but I think it could be a lot more shooting.
I think it has got a little bit more shopping than shooting.
We need less of the wicker baskets.
Yeah.
And we need more of the Hardox steel targets.
Have you got enough wicker baskets now?
I've got plenty, yeah. Yeah, I've got enough logs.
I would say majority of people is about the shopping and the experience of having a day out, because there's a lot of nice food here now as well as the shopping. And there's obviously a select few that do the shooting. So it's primarily shopping and a little bit of shooting.
But do you think the balance is right on kit that will be used in the field, or do you think it's more of a fashion parade?
Both, because and I think it should be both as well, because at the end of the time, people got to monetize on this, and it's got to be here for a long time. So it needs to attract more of a wider audience than just hardcore shooters, because it needs to survive. So I think you're going to need people to have, there's really nice places that show like arts and garden stuff and because you've got couples that might, the husband or wife might want to go shooting, and the other person want to go and have a look at how to decorate their house or whatever, and then they have something nice to eat. It's a day out. It's not just for shooting. It's for I think it's for everybody.
A family day out as well, to be fair. There's some things for kids too.
Yeah, it's absolutely a family day out. And I know actually a lot of people that come here that don't even shoot.
Yeah.
Because there is something, like I said, there is something for absolutely everyone at the game fair.
So, tell me you're blonde without telling me you're blonde. Game fair edition. I just went into Fortis to go and buy a brown jumper. Very nice brown jumper. I saw it a couple of days ago and I thought, yep, that is a bit of me. I'm going to go and get one of those. And I went in and I found it in ladies, in really small sizes. And I don't mind a man's jumper. So I was kind of like, do you know what? I'll go with the male version. And I went over and found it. And it was like, perfect, fits, medium, lovely. But I would rather have it in brown, and I could only find it in green in the men's. So I found an assistant. I said, oh, hi, don't suppose you've got it in brown in the men's? And the chap said, brown? Yes. Brown? And he went, brown? Yes. He went, do you think you can show me it in brown somewhere else? I was like, yeah, of course. Show you in brown in the ladies. So I walked him all the way up to the other end, and their stand is massive. I get to the other end, and I walk up to what was the brown jumper. And as I get closer, I'm like, oh, looks remarkably similar to the green jumper I'm holding in my hand. To which the man says, the green jumper? Turns out, when I'd walked into the shop the first time, I was wearing sunglasses. It's not a brown jumper in any way, shape or form. It's a green jumper. It's always been a green jumper. And now it's a green jumper that I own. But don't sell the it in bloke was brown. literally like, brown? Brown? And I'm thinking, what's wrong with you? Yes, the brown jumper. He was so polite, though, bless him. He didn't want to basically tell you were being stupid. He was like, maybe show me what you're talking about. Take me up to the other end and show me what you're talking about. And I was like, yeah. I've never seen her go to a checkout and pay for something so quickly. She's like, right, let me just pay and go. I was like, okay, thank you. I'll just have it in green then. Incoming confession from the game fair.
One shooting related one I can point out. The man's just wandering around behind now. Who we were doing a bit of deer stalking. Heard some fidgeting going around behind me. All of a sudden, a big bang, and he let an accidental discharge off over the top of a manor house. So haven't heard anything of it. So I presume everyone's alive.
Nobody died.
I don't think so.
Was he panicked?
We all panicked. We ran.
You ran. Nice. Was that your go-to? Run away! Run away and get your alibi straight quick.
We did. We tied it all up. It was fine.
Confession in the field, incoming now.
It's my first ever stalk that I went out on the hill, and I was telling somebody else this story this morning. So my first ever stag that I shot up on the hill in Scotland, and I'd been out for about 4 days with the giddy, basically trying to shoot these stags, and I couldn't get on them. And then the last day I went by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So parked the Land Rover, marched up about 3/4 of a mile up onto a big bit of clear fell, waited. Out comes the stag, shot the stag, absolutely euphorious, incredibly happy that I'd shot this stag, but I was celebrating by myself because nobody else was with me. And then I phoned the owner of the moor because he was going to come up in an Arga cat to come help me, and then found out that the Arga cat had broken down. And I am 3/4 of a mile away back from the Land Rover. So then he then said to me, well, I'll try and come up in another Land Rover and help you. And then he found out that his wife had basically gone shopping and taken all the keys. So I was on my own. So I had to get the deer drag on and to drag this deer down. Now, we're talking about a time when I very first started. I was very, very green. So I did a full grollock on the deer, then put it on the harness, started dragging it down. Absolutely nearly killed myself as I was dragging it down. Got to the edge of the clear fell where there were logs as I was pulling it down. And then as I was going, I just had my head down. I kept going and going and going and going. I kept thinking to myself, this deer is getting heavier. Either I'm getting more tired or it's getting heavier. And as I got to the edge of the clear fell, I basically stopped for a breather, looked round, and I found that a log had gone inside it, and I was pulling the log. So not only was I pulling sort of an 80, 90 pound stag, I was also pulling the log all the way down there. And then by the time I got down to the Land Rover, I nearly killed myself trying to put it in the back of the Land Rover.
Oh, wow.
So that's like,
well, it's one that you're never going to forget.
I'm never going to forget, and there's no way I was leaving it on the hill.
No, we worked hard for it.
I did.
So we come on to our debate, should phones be left in cars on a shoot day? Sarah and I have already chatted to numerous people around the game fair, and we're going to input those clips in a minute. And surprisingly so, most people have said no. We absolutely thought it was going to be the opposite. Let's hear what they've got to say, and then we'll have our debate after.
I think it's acceptable to take a phone and peg with you.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I've seen you girls do it, filming each other.
Answering a telephone call is more my question.
Not answering telephone, no, unless it's an emergency to the 999.
Which could well happen if we're shooting.
Exactly. No,
Fair chance.
I think it's okay to take your phone because obviously you want to record the content as well. Because this day and age is quite important to do that, as you know yourselves. 'Cause I have seen you both, and I've seen you with your little tripod, or your little stand, was filming yourself shooting.
Because her stand looks like a dildo, so it's known as the dildo.
I have seen her with a dildo.
And I spend my entire time going, Sarah, have you brought the dildo out of your house with you?
Yeah, and I've seen it actually in the open, in the field, and she was having a great time.
Being used in public.
She still missed though at that time, but still.
Distracted.
She was distracted. She was.
Yeah, Sarah can't defend herself. She's currently holding the camera, so apologies, Sarah. No mic for Sarah, no mic. Oh, well, shame.
You've got to keep photos and videos for good memory.
Oh, for photos and videos, I get that. That's acceptable, but maybe not the phone calls, or do you not mind?
No, definitely no phone calls, no.
It depends on the situation and your company as well. Because if you're shooting with some Middle England gentleman, he's going to throw more than a roughneck Welshman like myself.
That was an interesting debate. Lots of different opinions there. We were thinking more phone call side, but a lot of other people were looking at like photos, filming, social media side of things. So they want to obviously have their phone on them.
Which I actually hadn't even considered. And my gut instinct was, yeah, leave it in the car. But actually,
we've constantly got our phone out
we have
filming.
constantly got our phones on. So actually, maybe they are just a vital part of life. But I still say, from my point of view, please do not answer that phone call on peg.
Yeah,
that's a big faux pas.
You didn't obviously see me one day on the phone with my earpods in on a Teams meeting.
No, you told me about it later.
During a picking up drive.
Gives me the ick.
I was on a Teams meeting with Czech Republic. I was like, I've really got to take this Teams meeting. I was like, ignore all the noise in the background.
Tut, 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 Sarah.
Sorry.
Tut, tut.
So, Jake, have you got any funny shooting stories for us?
So, back when I was in the Forest of Dean doing some boar shooting, we were staying near a hotel which was known for some very interesting people to stay there. So as we were scanning around with our thermal spotters, courtesy of Notpicked, we saw a bunch of people wearing wizard hats come out of the woods, running around and singing, which was quite a unique experience. Yeah.
Were they camping in there or?
I do not know. I did not get close enough to them to find out. To be perfectly honest,
You just retreated.
I shit myself.
I've got a horrific story that goes with this. So I used to go and pick up at a shoot, and there used to be a Buddhist festival there once a year. Sarah will know this shoot. Yeah. And one day, I didn't know anything about the Buddhist festival, so I stopped to go and have my lunch. And there were some old IBC tanks. So I jumped up on the IBC tank with my lunch, and I sat down and I started unpacking it. Someone walked over and went, "Get off that." And I went, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be here." And they went, "No, you want to get off that. That's what they use for their toilet." And I was sat on an old IBC tank unwrapping my lunch. If you've loved this pod, let's be honest, we know you have. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review. We love reading your reviews, and we love it when you get in touch.
So, Celine, can you give me one word that sums up the game fair this year?
You are going to go, I don't know why you said that. Why did you say that? It's a fancy word.
Is it going to be a stupid word?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Go.
And I've thought about this, mainly because I came up with a question, but I've also thought about this because I think I would say unifying. And you're going to look at me, I see your face. She literally did that shudder of, what are you talking about, woman?
Did you go for a dictionary before?
No, I didn't, I promise.
Okay, so please explain what unifying means.
Unifying, bringing everyone together into one cohesive unit. And for me, I think the game fair is one of the only places where you are going to see fishing, shooting, stalking, hunting, as in with hounds, the whole gamut. There's falconry, there's gundogs, there's everything under one roof. And it is... You can have people that are into wildfowling, people that are into driven shooting, people that want to go off on safaris and shoot the big five. There is absolutely everything here.
People that are new into it.
Yeah, and it's bringing everyone together. You've got people that have been doing it for 50 years, and you've got people that have gone, oh, well, I've never been to something like that. I'll go and have a look. And I just think it is unifying. It is bringing everybody together in one place. And I can't think of many other places that are like it. And yes, you do get your big shows around the world, but a lot of them are very shooting based. And this is absolutely Fieldsports heaven.
Yeah.
Everything. in
Something
one
for
place.
everybody.
Yeah. What would you?
Mine's not as complex as that. I'm going to say feet.
Feet.
My feet hurt so much. It's the only word I can think of. Feet. If I could have a second word, it would be ouch.
Oh.
Yes. Let's just say I didn't wear the best shoes yesterday. Well, I thought they were all right. Nothing fancy. I wasn't going around in a pair of high heels. Just some deck shoes. But it was hot. It was sweaty. It was long. And I ended up with blisters. So, yeah, feet is going to be my word of the game fair.
Lovely. Wonder what everybody else has got to say.
Shrinking.
That's what my husband said that, and I was like, I don't think it's getting smaller.
I've come
But
every year since 2013, apart from when COVID happened, and it's getting smaller and smaller, which they need to go back to the board and see why.
Great.
Barbers, probably.
Amazing. Fabulous.
Jake, could you please sum up the game fair? Could you please sum up the game fair in one word?
Roasting.
Roasting. I think that's been most people's opinions today, if I'm honest. It is hot.
Very busy. That's 2 words.
that doesn't work. One word. You failed at the first hurdle. One word.
Enjoyable.
Superb.
If you could describe the game fair in one word this year, how would you describe it?
Given how close we are to the shooting grounds, banging.
Fun.
Brilliant.
Can I say a second word? Can I not say a second word?
Go on then, have another one.
Educational.
Yeah.
Yeah. But fun and educational.
Excellent.
Moist.
How did I know you were going to say that?
Moist, or were you moist?
Oh,
I'm dank.
You're dank.
Yeah, mildly moist.
Aw.
That's what
Oh, we've got a confession coming in. Hopefully this is a good one.
Spaniel, which I had doing the entire drive while everybody else is waiting to start, watching her jump through the kale, pushing the birds quite nicely, and the owner stood beside me looking at me going, "You control that." Yes, absolutely.
We've all been there. And why do they always do it when the owner's there and not when it's just you privately on your own?
She absolutely came back out within 2 feet, so I could almost grab her, and she went, "No, I'm going back in," and then completed the entire drive for us over 20 minutes. You see her just jumping, wouldn't answer the whistle, nothing.
So that's it. We've come to the end of the Game Fair 2026.
Sad times.
3 days done. It's been absolutely fantastic. We've met some amazing people, had some incredible stories.
Spent too much money.
It's been mad. I can't believe it's over already.
I feel like it's gone in a blur, but I also feel like Friday was so many days away. I just actually kind of have lost track of time.
Yeah,
But
so
it's over.
But it's not over for the pod because we will be back with our usual pod. This was a little extra for you. So if you've got
sneaky one,
if you've got anything you'd like to include in the pod, any confessions, funny stories, anything you want us to debate, then please get in touch and we can put it into one of our next podcasts.
barrelsandbanter@gmail.com. Thanks, guys.